Hello teacups, what's brewing? Welcome back to the channel. Apologies for the delay, that is the beginning of term teacher life, but it's lovely to be here. As you can hear, my voice is not making the transition into school well. I'm already losing it. I've got a hot beverage, I bought some lozenges today, fingers crossed and hope for the best. Fortunately, it doesn't feel as painful as it sounds, so we can keep going. So I thought today that perhaps we would look at two pieces of content. We've got Time to Beeeeeze, which is her live she did, just sitting in her hotel room. And then we may end up doing a straight react to the floating market video, because there's quite a lot of filler. I can always cut it down, but I figure it's nice and makes a change. The vlogs aren't too bad to get through, to be honest. Man, I'm starting to think maybe I should have had one of those Strepsil things before I did this. Never mind. Okay, so we're in Foodie's hotel. She's up early. It's about 6:30 a.m. she says. They're going to go to the hotel breakfast. They discuss briefly the family vlogger that got arrested. I don't know if you heard about that, but it's been over a few different social medias. She said the name of the channel. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I didn't write it down. I'm sure you could find some information about it on social media should you so wish. She can't resist talking about the more recent drama with the person who's been harassing her friends and community, because just shutting up is never an option with Foodie. Last I heard, apparently they had been reported to the Kuwaiti authorities. Now, that's as much as I know. We'll see if anything happens, but instinct says they're probably not going to take him too seriously. Now, I know I've always told Foodie, hey, Foodie, F around and find out when it comes to Kuwait. But the fact is, it's possible for them to get married in Thailand. So they could theoretically come back and get married. But also, you've got to consider the source this information is coming from. So how seriously they take it, how far down the government line it goes, if it actually results in any action, no matter who reports it. There's a lot of variables in how effective this is going to be. Now, in terms of them potentially coming home married, it absolutely could happen. We haven't seen any evidence of them doing it, because obviously their lie is that they've been married this whole time and the exact timing of these visa trips is just a coincidence. But with a lot of the content being pre-recorded or being very contained, there is a lot of space around what we see for them to go about this. Now, when it comes to returning to Kuwait, they would still need to have the documentation processed. They would still then need to get her actually sponsored by Salah. And that would all take a certain amount of time, but I feel like the report isn't going to do much. I'll watch it if it does, but that's where I am. I do think, though, if they have gone that route, and they eventually do have paperwork to that fact, the idea of it being private is going to go straight out of the window. Because now that she's actually got the paperwork, I'm not saying that she has, I'm just saying it's possible now. If they did then go through the process within Kuwait and she did get a civil ID, we would see that so fast, because she'd act all like, look, this is ridiculous, but God, let me just lay it to rest. See, the haters were wrong. See, she wouldn't be able to resist showing it to us so she could berate us. So if she's got it, if they've gone down this road, if they've been smart about this at all, because I think I said right in the beginning, why don't they just go somewhere it's legal that they can marry and not put themselves through this, then I don't see how she could keep it to herself. It's not her strong suit. So Foodie is excited for the breakfast at the hotel and talks about how all takeout food comes in plastic bags in Thailand, which is absolutely true in my experience. She also mentioned she has a lot of work to do on the vlog. She's kind of behind. Based on the outfits we're seeing, and I know she has limited clothes because there's limited stuff she fits into, but I think that they are doing 2 or 3 things over like a 1-day period. They may be spending an hour, spending a couple of hours in a place and then going to a place. That she's separating that out into vlogs to make it look like they're doing more and to get more content out of it. And then she is just recovering in the hotel for a day or 2 under the guise of, well, I need to edit. But when you consider she is doubling up on the vlogs and the lives, because she's doing not a long one, but like an hour or so, from her hotel. I reckon she's actually making decent money on this trip, to be completely honest. Her vlogs have a lot of scenery filler, so she doesn't actually have to do that much to be able to fill the time, especially as she's adding like the previews at the beginning and the cameo ads just to kind of suck up the minutes to get her to 8. There's actually very little content in them. She says that 7-Eleven have the best halal wieners, but I was under the impression she had randomly cut the footage of her trying them out of the vlog this week. Was it this week? I feel like it was this week. But for reasons unknown, there doesn't seem to be a reason to have done it. So maybe they weren't halal, but removing it just kind of draws attention to it. So I don't know what was going on. People asked how long she was in Bangkok for, and she says we're in Pattaya now, but we were in Bangkok for a week. And then again, when we look at the footage, I think she probably had between 1 and 3 days of actual let's go out and do stuff in there. She says that Pattaya has more of a beach vibe, Bangkok is more touristy. I've only actually been to Bangkok, so I don't think I can compare them, but Bangkok is really touristy right in the center. Apparently they chose Pattaya because Foodie doesn't like to do like internal travel once she arrives somewhere. And the trips to other locations would have been a lot longer. It would have required like either like a 10-hour drive or a plane ride, and she just didn't really want to do it. I'd imagine also those planes would be quite small. We did see her have a little hopper plane over to, was it Qatar she went through? I feel like it was Doha. I can't quite remember. Yeah, Doha, because I was talking about the, what is this motion? I was talking about the giant teddy bear that we didn't see on screen. Sorry, my fringe is doing a thing today. I like it forward, but it gets in my eyes. She shills Cameo a little bit to her chatters, and she said she's behind on vlogs. Salah is like in the background and responding and laughing. He is in high spirits. The goofy laugh is everywhere, every few minutes, even at her terrible jokes. He has been so excited to travel since they got there. And I don't actually begrudge him for that, if I'm completely honest. Like, I don't like him, but a big part of the reason he signed up for this, I think, is because I think Foodie really sold him on the idea of, look, I'm a YouTube star, I can help you be one, we'll travel together. And the things he wanted to do that maybe he wasn't doing himself before. And like, it's time for him to get his, and here we are. There's a little bit of talk about the hotels. Someone said that Airbnb is cheaper than the hotels. Airbnb can be, not necessarily. There's a certain amount of convenience you sometimes sacrifice for it. And Thailand can be really reasonable in terms of the price of hotels anyway. She seems to be in a very kind of meh hotel, like not bad, but nothing spectacular, very mid-range, does exactly what she needs it to do. It's not a complaint. She's not spending a huge amount of money on this. Like she would. She says that, say, Canada hotels are really expensive, but Thailand has a lot of choice and doesn't tend to be too pricey unless you're going for real luxury. She says that Kuwait is expensive too, and admits that Kuwait isn't as cheap as she originally thought. Guys, have we finally had a grasp on the idea of currency exchange? Have we made it? Have we done enough countries for it to click? She says she won't be doing a hotel tour, probably because the last one she was in got doxxed. She put a view from the window and then immediately someone matched up the view from the window. Nothing's going to happen to her there, but seriously, every single time. And if she wanted the content, if she was smart about it, she could record it and release it after she'd left. So she could have done the hotel tour in Bangkok and then released it when she was already in Pattaya. She could do the Pattaya one and release it when they're already at the airport. Like, it wouldn't be hard to do. It would require the least amount of planning though, so it probably won't happen. She talks on and off about food and things she hasn't tried, because the chat are asking, oh, have you tried this? Have you tried coconut ice cream? And it comes out like she hasn't tried tom yum soup. She hasn't tried Thai curry, I think it was. There were a lot of foods that struck me as being things that Thailand is quite famous for. So I was a little surprised, considering how she likes to base her vlogs around food and around the things they're trying, that she hadn't tried a lot of them. Like, is she just living at the 7-Eleven and the hotel buffet and then occasionally trying a street food for camera? I guess, I don't know. I know we have seen her going around that market and trying the live shrimp and the squid and the things, which fair play to her, by the way. Like, there are some things she ate that I was like, I would not. Things like bugs were common in China as well. I had a friend who used to always order the fried cicadas, and I was like, you keep the plate over the other side, thank you, I don't want them. So I wouldn't have eaten some of the things she ate, and that's okay. So she wants to do it, she can do it. But in some ways that makes it even more strange that she hasn't tried some of the more famous cuisine. It makes me wonder, like, day by day, what exactly is she doing? Is it all just Thai tea and snacks? Somebody suggests the Philippines as the next place that she should go. She says there's nowhere really she wouldn't want to go, but then randomly says she's too scared to go to Mexico because she's watched too many bad videos. And I was like, well, that doesn't seem like a great source of information, does it? But do some research. Like, I'm sure there are places in Mexico that are dangerous and that you have to be careful of. That would be true of most countries, I think, and let's not write off the entire country based on YouTube videos. Conversation meanders in and out a little bit. She says she's starving, she doesn't want to miss all the good stuff at breakfast. She denies hamburger eyes because people say she looks like she used to when she was getting high, and excuses herself to the hotel buffet. And that takes us on to the floating market vlog, which I'm feeling a little bit differently about now, because apparently a day or two after she was there, the floating market's actually burned down. It was in the news and it's not there anymore. So now the scenery shots that I was like, this is nice, but it's overly long. Her vlogs always feel quite static, like they don't have a lot of energy or momentum to them. So when she puts these shots in, you're not excited by them, there's no motion there. And her footage just tends to stagnate, I suppose. I'm not describing this very well. But now that I know it's gone, I'm a little bit more interested in seeing it. Now, she does start this vlog with a preview of her struggling to get into the boat. I'm going to skip the preview because we'll watch it in the main thing. But I want you to remember as she does this, when she cries fat shaming and she says that she doesn't cash in on that stuff when she's in her content, and I have to eat anyway, I have to do things anyway, and if we notice these things then we're just haters. That whole line of conversation, she is not only putting this in, she's highlighting it. She is absolutely profiting off of the state her health is in and her lack of mobility, and then she just gets mad when people notice it. And I'm like, if you're going to put blaring sirens around the fact that you're struggling, don't be surprised that people talk about the fact that you're struggling. Now, she's also very manipulative. She wants people to talk, she wants the views, so it's in there for a very distinct reason. But come on now.
Hi guys, Salam alaikum, Sawadika. Today we are taking you all to the floating market in Pattaya, Thailand. Yalla, let's go.
God, this looks like a tourist trap. To be fair, I don't mind too much things being tourist traps as long as you enjoy them. But yeah.
When you first arrive, you have to purchase tickets. They have different packages to choose from, but we chose the one that includes entrance fees, a boat ride, a souvenir, and a snack for a total of 800 baht.
Does she show the souvenir they got at the end of this? I don't remember her showing it. Maybe I just skipped through.
Just after the entrance, yeah.
I love how she was just filming that guy. Like, nobody cares there, it doesn't matter. But that was quite, like, front and center there.
I have to go through a tiny turnstile type thing. As a big woman, I just love those.
I bet that was really difficult for her, but at least it didn't have the actual, like, bar that she had to go through, because I'm not sure what she would have done.
As Muslims, we appreciated that they had an area to pray right after the entrance.
Oh, that's good.
Now, Thailand has many floating markets, but since we were in Pattaya, we decided to see this one for now. The floating market is, in a nutshell, a colorful market with traditional Thai crafts and produce sold from boats and waterfront shops. The traditional architecture surrounded by water is a wonderful sight to see. You can purchase many things here, like the famous elephant dance, which, by the way, you do see everyone wearing.
Yeah, all the tourists wear them, and I think they're quite cute. They're fun. You wouldn't take them too seriously, but they're nice.
It's also a nice way to get in some walking exercise.
I feel the need at this point to pause and actually give Foodie some credit, because my last video, I was focused very much on, hey, look at this timeline. What a coincidence, because I was feeling a little bit smug about it. I'm not going to lie, I was. But She has, even though I do believe she recovers in the hotel for a day or two after, and I know that she spreads these out into vlogs to make it look like she's doing more, she has physically moved a lot more than I was expecting her to this trip. And I know she takes breaks and I know it's difficult, but credit to her, she is doing the thing. And I wouldn't have necessarily said with the downturn her health has been taking that she would have been able to before now.
I was worried about the size of the boats here.
Rightly so. She's gonna be scared.
You can buy various foods and drinks as well. I was dying of thirst, so we each got a fresh palm juice. It tasted like coconut water, but sweet to me. It was refreshing.
When they say palm, do they mean palm sugar? Is that what it is? Is that why it's sweet?
Peeking through the shops, you can observe others enjoying a boat ride throughout the waters.
Sorry, I interrupted her. That is pretty. Like I said, I haven't been outside of Bangkok, so I haven't been to this, but I'm thinking potentially of maybe doing a quick trip to Thailand in October because it's a cheaper destination and because my money is probably going to be tied up with my bank closing out my credit card and stuff. I didn't want to do an expensive trip. Maybe I will. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. Depends how tired I am, quite frankly, if I want to travel. But this does look pretty and I'm considering it. So maybe I'll try somewhere else in Thailand this time around.
One thing we found interesting was the fish spot. You can sit as long as you want and get the gross things on your feet eaten by little fish. I'm sure that tickles.
Yeah, it does tickle. I've actually had this done. 100? Actually, I was about to say that seems quite expensive, but I might be misremembering the prices in Bangkok. But I will say usually there is a time limit. They say X amount for X amount of time. So maybe that's why it's a little bit more, or maybe I'm just remembering the prices wrong.
Overall, it was a beautiful day, and the sights and smells here at the floating market are something to experience for sure. Made for a really, really fun day together.
That looks like a nice place to go. It does.
You guys are having a blast at the floating market.
Yeah, we are. Let's get going, bitch.
That sounds so natural. I say it every time he speaks, but come on. 2 more drinks in hand. I wonder how many they went through. Is that the bugs again? Oh yeah, look at the scorpions. I had a friend who ate tarantulas on sticks in China and I was like, oh no, absolutely not. I don't like tarantulas. I don't like spiders in general. I'm not eating them.
Turns out the floating market is also a great place for some love.
Well, this is awkward. Nothing like the fake AstroTurf to really get the point.
We're headed for the boat ride, but the boats look small, so I'm not really enthusiastic about that.
And this is, oh, don't pause by her teeth. This is where I say credit to her. I know she's just doing it for the content because she knows it will get her views, but this would have been scary for her because she knows she can't do things very easily. And however she tries to frame herself as a confident big woman, she knows this is going to be hard and she's doing it.
Here we were approached by some Thai folk in some beautiful makeup and attire, and we took some photos with them. It was really nice.
Are they representing something from a legend, or is it just, hey, look, we're pretty, take a photo? It'd be nice if she told us these things. That girl in the red dress is really pretty. Oh man, this. Let's watch this in its full glory.
Look at it.
Oh my god.
Your hands.
Look how small that step is.
No, it's gonna fall.
No, it's okay. Don't worry.
We're gonna tip. Oh my god.
Oh my
Don't
god.
worry. Don't worry.
Oh my god. Okay, here's the thing. Yeah. I'm not about to say anything nasty about size because I think it's completely unnecessary. And the boats are small and they do move around. They wouldn't let her in if they thought it was going to tip them over. Yeah. So that's a non-issue. But that would have been scary. The thing I want to say about this though, you know, she was talking about going to Disney and how she could ride all the rides. A lot of the more gentle rides, the ones where you get into those kind of boats and they go around on rails through like water and you see things, you know, like in Epcot they have one around Frozen that used to be a troll ride, something like that. A lot of the rides, when you get in them, sometimes have like small steps down into these things. Sometimes they're level, sometimes they require small steps down. Could you imagine her in Disney trying to do this? Look at the event she just made that. The step was this big. Also, look at how shady her husband was being. I forgot his name then, Salah. When he let her struggle, let her sit, let her make a fool of herself, and then offered his hand. Like, come on. We see a tiny bit of this. I think she went on more loudly and for a lot longer than we saw in this video, and I'll show you why. And then he just stands in and it's fine. Look at her screaming. Well, screaming.
We're gonna die, right?
So was that just to step through there because they're now sitting on one without a roof? Did he take it down? Did they change boats because Salah was too tall? I think they had two boats next to each other, so they were going through. I don't know what was going on there.
Wow, okay, now I'm okay that I'm on it. But,
She looks horrified.
You're so funny, baby.
So sympathetic.
oh my gosh.
Salah is all of
I
us.
was screaming, like, I was screaming.
So I think she embarrassed herself in a way that she was like, oh, I don't even want to put this in the video.
That's your first time to step on board?
Well, like, this one kinda, yeah. At this weight, yes.
The fact that he asked is like, then this must be your first time if you're this freaked out.
Okay.
When I was younger, I went on canoes and things, but...
Oh.
This I'm probably going to cut a lot out of, but I've just left a few seconds in because, like I said, the place burned down. It doesn't exist anymore. And that's really weird to think of, that she was right here and then here we are. But what a shame, really. You think of all the people who... They make a pretty good trade. When it's like a tourist place, you're going to get quite a lot of visitors and it's better business and the prices are a bit more inflated and everything, of course. And just... think of all the people who had their jobs there. Did you see the girl just wave at them on the way? On one hand, I was like, cute. I was sitting there thinking, look how at ease they seem in the center of their boat. And then she's waving, which is adorable. But can you imagine the sight? Oh, and there's the roof of the boat. They've obviously taken it down because it was too short for Salah.
How are you?
This looks really lovely. I know there's more than one floating market in Thailand. I would not mind looking around one.
Feel good? Sawadee-ka. Sawadee-ka.
Sawadee-ka. Smell durian. Oh, you can buy elephant poo-poo paper.
What?
Yeah, you make poop out of paper.
I'm all for recycling, but what a thing to film. This reminds me a little bit of, like, you know, the catch it coffee you can get that's kind of famous. And I'm like, you can, but why?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder, you can't really hear what he's saying. If anyone's been to the floating market, do they have like a route they go around so you can see everything? and then they drop you off at the pier and you can walk through these shops? Or do they drop you off at the shop so you can go and pop in? I wonder how that goes. Is it like hiring a driver and you go where you want?
Oh, 3 years old.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, babe?
No need, don't worry.
Okay.
I love that the driver's had enough of her shit. It's like, don't worry. Like the driver's gonna let them capsize. You're just sitting there like, don't worry. I'm not gonna let the boat tip.
I trust you.
She does not trust them. He just doesn't want to sit next to her anymore. Or he wants to be in the video. I can believe both. Get my good side, darling.
Hello guys.
Oh,
We
yeah.
are enjoying our time here in this floating market in Pattaya, you know. This place must visit in Pattaya, guys. Make sure of that.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
Yes, definitely.
Sit up. I've got a hunchback.
The architecture here is so nice.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna skip. I've had enough of them.
Guys, Chantal is afraid.
I'm so scared. I'm freaking out.
Why? You're in the boat now. Why are you afraid now? She does not look comfortable, does she? I think that's the reason he's just turned the camera around so they can see how she feels. He is not like, I would say he's not supportive. In some ways he tries to be as much as she allows him, I think, but he does not care about showing her off in that way. But she doesn't look comfortable at all. She's always had a problem. Like when we saw her sit at the cat cafe, she had to have splayed legs because the front of her is quite heavy and hangs down, and she just can't sit with her legs closed. She can't sit very comfortably. And because the boat is set up the way it is, it's a bit like when she was in the tuk-tuk and she just really struggled. She's in a kind of squat position and her body isn't really of the shape where she can do that easily. So no wonder she's afraid, because she's not moving quickly if the boat does tip. I'm not saying it's going to, but that's it. She's in the water. God, and then she's got to get out of the boat.
Hello, baby. Do you want to say something?
I'm scared.
Oh my god.
I understand the initial fright of getting in and not being sure and it being moving, but you are this far into the journey. Like at some point you got to calm down.
I'm having a good time.
Oh, you do not. I'm scared. Ah, babe. I'm having a good time. You look like you're about to be sick.
I confronted my fear.
Yeah, I can tell.
No, you haven't been dramatic about
So
the
we were
story.
gonna get the welcome drink from the coupon we paid already.
Oh, it's nice that they just bring them to them.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sawadee
Thank God she didn't need to get out.
Thank you.
Sorry if there's a weird cut. I pressed the wrong button on my keyboard and it both muted and jumped back and I didn't know what was going on. I hate watermelon, but I love dragon fruit. I'm not sure why I feel so strongly about all types of melon. Can't stand it.
Watermelon.
Yeah, and dragon fruit.
He says, wake up. Wake up.
See, I wonder why they go. This is why I was asking, is there a route they take that takes them past like the snack stop and all the rest of it? Or are they just like, you've got this amount of time, we'll take you round, you know? Or do you want to go somewhere specific? Because this just seems like the back lot. This would be the back alley if it were on land. So why are they here? This doesn't look like it's full of tourists. This doesn't look like the area you're supposed to see. I'm just imagining Chantal going over the bridge up above and freaking out about that as well.
Thailand, but for him it's first time in Thailand.
Oh, there are some more people.
For me it's second time here in Thailand, but for him it's first time in Thailand.
The boat driver couldn't care less.
Hello.
I feel like there's a better word than boat driver. Captain? Okay, so now she's going to have to deal with getting out of the boat. And you can see the step's not high, but in her defense, she has got very little legs. So we're going to see how this goes. He's just like, I'll hold it. She's going to be like on her knees there.
Okay. Okay.
The driver's ready. He knows it's going to be terrible. Stand on the seat.
Don't worry. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video.
Oh no. Look how miserable she looks. Has she been crying? Is that what that is? Either she's sweaty, but she looks like someone's punched her in the face. They haven't, but however she got out of that boat was an adventure. All right, like she could have, I understand she's scared, that's fine. Hold Sala's hand, step up onto the seat because that's easier. And then from the seat, step up onto the pier. That seems like the best way to do this. But she looks like she's just had a miserable few minutes and embarrassed herself.
And had fun with us here in this floating market in Pattaya.
It was amazing, guys. Once I was nervous looking at the boats and getting in and out, but once I did it, it was alright.
So,
You cannot convince me at all that she is enjoying herself in this moment. Maybe on the boat when she was somewhat settled. But before they cut to this, she was hot, but she wasn't looking like this. She wasn't massively red in the face. She wasn't wet here to this extent. So either she's been crying or she has just had some exertion getting out of that boat. You cannot convince me otherwise. She looks completely miserable.
hilarious, but we enjoy the moments, right?
Yes.
So nice place guys to visit and highly recommend it. Until then guys, see you in the next video.
And there we have it, further adventures in Thailand. I don't know how much longer she's there for. It's more interesting than her Kuwait stuff. She's not a particularly engaging vlogger, but it's at least as she goes, it's getting a little better. I think her videos are overly reliant on the filler shots. There's more B-roll than A-roll, quite frankly, but pleasant enough, and it looked like a fun area. Okay, guys, I will try and see you again soon. Bye-bye.